of this hour on VTV News. Prime Minister urges youth to make more efforts to advance the nation to a new era. Public and private partnership creates new agricultural impetus. In world news, positive progress in Russia-U.S. negotiations.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Good morning. It is now 8 a.m. local time in Hanoi, and you're watching VTV News. Now, State President Lương Cưng hosted a reception in Hanoi on March the 24th for Azerbaijani Prosecutor General Kamran Bayram Aliyev, who is on a working visit to Vietnam. Welcoming his guest, the state president emphasized that Aliyev's visit significantly reinforced the traditional friendship between the two countries and boosted cooperation between their judicial bodies. He expressed hope for closer bilateral ties, paving the way for mutually beneficial collaboration across various sectors. In response, Aliyev noted that the two sides had signed a memorandum of understanding on cooperation, which was expected to deepen their ties further. He added that this visit allowed him to exchange experience, step up cooperation, and gain a deeper understanding of Vietnamese culture, history, and hospitality. Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính chaired a conference on Monday on ensuring security and order to support socio-economic development in the Northwest region and surrounding areas. Co-chaired by Minister of Public Security General Lương Tam Quang, the conference aimed to address challenges and unlock resources for the region's growth while maintaining security. Calling for a comprehensive development approach for the region, the Prime Minister outlined 5 key tasks: integrating economic growth with national defense and security, implementing policies for religion and ethnic groups, creating more job opportunities for ethnic people, promoting self-reliance, and preserving cultural values. The Prime Minister also assigned 9 key tasks to be completed by 2025, eliminating poor housing, improving healthcare and education, and ensuring access to clean water and electricity. Now, on the same day, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính chaired a dialogue with Vietnamese youth representatives. The government-led top leader emphasized the youth's pivotal role in advancing science, technology, and innovation. The dialogue was held in celebration of Youth Month 2025 and the 94th anniversary of the founding of Ho Chi Minh Communist Youth Union.
The event marked the 3rd time the Prime Minister had engaged in dialogue with Vietnamese youth, showcasing the party and state's deep commitment to encouraging their creativity, dedication, and pioneering spirit in national development and defense. The Prime Minister highlighted the crucial historical role of Vietnamese youth in building, defending, and advancing the nation. He acknowledged their significant achievements in scientific research, technological application, innovation ecosystem development, and digital transformation.
Firstly, Vietnamese youth must uphold their promises with unwavering commitment. When they say they will do something, they must do it. When they commit, they must strive even harder. When they are determined, they must be even more resolute. And when they take the lead, they must be truly pioneering. Secondly, young people must transform their aspirations into tangible projects and meaningful actions. They should embody the spirit of resilience, never growing arrogant in victory, never losing heart in defeat. Their mindset should be one of turning the impossible into the possible, constantly pushing beyond their limits. As Uncle Ho once said, nothing is difficult, only the fear of losing determination and perseverance. This timeless wisdom echoes the sentiment of Vietnamese folklore. High mountains have paths to climb. The key is to find the way and never stop searching.
The Prime Minister called upon ministries and sectors to improve policies and mechanisms aimed at creating a favorable and attractive environment for young people. The Prime Minister expressed his confidence that the Vietnamese youth will continue to write new glorious chapters in the nation's history.
Also celebrating the 94th anniversary of the Ho Chi Minh Communist Youth Union, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính honored 10 outstanding young Vietnamese and 8 promising individuals for their contributions, inspiring the next generation to advance alongside the nation. He urged them to lead with innovation, strategic vision, and creativity, while focusing on advancing science, technology, and digital transformation. The government top leader also highlighted the need to boost labor productivity, support startups, and promote growth, social progress, and international integration. Deputy Prime Minister Nguyễn Chí Dũng chaired a meeting on Monday to discuss fresh proposals to develop the private economy. He urged relevant ministries to work with the Ministry of Finance to complete a draft plan. The Deputy Prime Minister emphasized that the development goals for 2030 with a vision for 2045 must be realistic and feasible, providing clear guidance for businesses. He also highlighted the need to use market tools and ensure compliance with international commitments to make the private economy a key growth driver. The modernization of agriculture requires trialing innovations to enhance production efficiency and strengthen value chains. Now, despite limited budgets and investment resources, mobilizing various economic sectors for collaboration is essential. Numerous public-private partnership initiatives, however, have successfully created new momentum for the agricultural sector to thrive.
This sustainable potato production system has been implemented in the northern provinces. It has proven effective, with an average harvest of 23 to 26 tons per hectare. This success is attributed to the collaboration between farmers and businesses, utilizing modern technologies.
Farmers are very happy. The productivity is good, and everyone wants to plant more.
The approach has reduced input costs and allowed farmers to earn over $6,000 per hectare. The National Agricultural Extension Center plays a leading role, while private companies provide technical support and ensure market access for products. This initiative's success is gradually helping Vietnam achieve self-sufficiency in processing materials.
We provide resources to help farmers minimize production costs.
The agricultural sector aims to reach an export target of $70 billion this year, with a projected GDP growth rate of 4%. As human resources, natural resources, and productivity have reached their limits, increasing technology integration and innovation through collaboration becomes essential to achieve the ambitious targets.
By participating in this cooperative approach, banks will see reduced bad debts due to stronger commitments between businesses and farmers.
Vietnam recognizes agriculture as a key driver for sustainable socio-economic growth. Encouraging private investment through public-private partnerships will help the sector maintain its position in contributing up to 15% of the GDP each year.
Fresh cocoa in southern provinces is being bought at around 50 US cents per kilogram, while dried beans reach $10 per kilogram, 3 times higher than last year and a record high. Vietnam's cocoa industry, once nearly wiped out in 2014 due to price instability, is now revived thanks to a high-quality circular production chain. Now, this maximizes profits and positions Vietnam as a global supplier of premium cocoa.
Nhật Tâm Cooperative 750 hectares of cocoa seeds, increasing yields yearly. It is also the first zero-waste farm in Central Highlands, turning cocoa husk and farm byproducts into biochar fertilizer through pyrolysis.
Cocoa husks can be used for animal feed and fertilizer, reducing costs while boosting the yield and quality of cocoa beans.
With clean ingredients, the entire cocoa processing takes just 60 days. Fermentation in wooden vats and slow roasting preserve the chocolate's tropical fruit aroma. Vietnam also produces the world's first carbon-neutral certified chocolate.
You have Philippines, you have Papua New Guinea. Vietnam, I think the key would be to focus first on growing the quantity.
The farmers here for cocoa production in Vietnam are incredibly meticulous and industrious in applying our norms and requirements.
With 2,520 square meters of cocoa, Bien has harvested about 2 tons this year. Cocoa is low maintenance and sells for $3 per kilogram, giving farmers renewed confidence.
This year, I'm thrilled to have earned over $7,800 USD.
Vietnam's ability to produce its cocoa is a competitive advantage, as top chocolate producers like Belgium and Switzerland cannot grow it. Demands for specialty, organic, and sustainable cocoa in Europe is rising, making Vietnam's circular production model a great opportunity.
Now, since the end of 2024, numerous countries have revised their regulations and standards for agricultural imports, affecting Vietnamese products significantly. Now, China, Vietnam's primary durian market, now requires inspections of all durian shipments for cadmium and yellow oil content. Taiwan, China has also extended its Vietnamese durian inspection period through April the 30th of this year. From December the 18th of 2024, Europe increased inspection frequency for Vietnamese exports of durian, dragon fruit, chili, and okra. Meanwhile, enterprises exporting to the U.S. must apply the hazard analysis and critical control point system and be audited and confirmed by the importer. Exporting countries must also register and update their information with the U.S. Food and Drug Administration every 2 years. South Korea, Japan, and the United Kingdom have also announced changes in regulations on commodity standards. Total retail sales of goods and consumer services reached $246.1 billion, a nearly 9% increase from the previous year. Now, to achieve this year's 12% growth target, the government is focusing on 2 key strategies: boosting the domestic market through the Vietnamese People Prioritize Vietnamese Goods campaign and expanding local products' presence in traditional retail channels. This initiative has been prioritized across all sectors and regions to stimulate domestic consumption, maintain production levels, and drive economic growth.
All fresh fruits, vegetables, and essential consumer goods displayed at this supermarket are locally produced. Surveys show that consumers have strong confidence in both the quality and design of Vietnamese products.
Vietnamese products now match imported goods in quality. Their designs are attractive, and I trust their origin, which ensures food safety and hygiene.
Imported goods may not be as fresh as Vietnamese products due to longer transportation times, which can reduce vitamin content in fruits and vegetables. That's why I prioritize fresh Vietnamese goods, which are delivered daily.
This year, the total retail sales and consumer services revenue target has been set at over $273.8 billion. With growing consumer confidence, the domestic market is expected to provide strong support for local products.
For Vietnamese-made products, we work directly with the suppliers, access production facilities, and sample goods to ensure quality. We aim to maintain an inventory of over 90% Vietnamese products, and in 2025, we will strive to further increase this percentage with the best quality.
Alongside policy development for logistics and warehousing to reduce costs, we are targeting an 80 to 90% share of Vietnamese-made products in modern distribution channels and 60 to 70% in traditional channels such as markets and grocery stores.
By year-end, the campaign Vietnamese People Prioritize Vietnamese Goods aims for full consumer and business awareness. Vietnamese products are expected to exceed 90% market share in traditional rural and remote distribution channels, while efforts to expand into new markets will drive production growth.
Coming up next, Vietnam promotes medical sector research. And later on, Mekong Delta farmers adapt to drought and salinity. Welcome back to VTV News. Resolution 57 of the Politburo on breakthrough development in science, technology, innovation, and national digital transformation serves as a launch pad for healthcare sector reform and the adoption of advanced technology in diagnosis and treatment. The resolution will also help address existing difficulties and barriers in investment, research, and developing new technologies and medicines.
Diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer, this patient joined a targeted drug clinical trial after consulting with doctors. Since 2018, their health has remained stable.
I received infusions every 20 days. Now, it's every 28 days. My health is improving well.
K Hospital has conducted clinical trials on over 60 targeted cancer drugs in phases 2 and 3, with 75 patients participating. However, these trials are collaborative studies with international hospitals and laboratories. Due to high investment costs, the hospital has yet to conduct independent preliminary research.
We have achieved very good results, but we did not meet expectations in some cases. Therefore, we have not yet conducted basic research.
Healthcare leaders say the medical sector has great potential for scientific and technological healthcare development. The sector will continue overcoming barriers and boosting research to maximize the expertise and skills of medical scientists.
We will focus on medical research development, such as biopharmaceutical production, gene technology, and vaccines.
With the current policies, I believe we can attract and retain talent for the country. In the future, there will be world-class projects that will advance Vietnam's medical sector.
Resolution 57 promotes an open approach, risk acceptance, and venture investment in science and technology. It will encourage bold research investments and support medical scientists in their contributions.
Although situated deep inland, Hậu Giang province has endured drought and salinity intrusion for years. These harsh conditions have impacted farmers' daily lives and agricultural production. However, many farmers have turned these challenges into opportunities through flexible adaptation.
This 1-hectare field is located outside the dike system. Farmers have developed innovative methods to adapt to salinity situations. After the winter-spring rice crop, they construct banks, improve fields, and use salinity to decompose straw. By doing so, they have created a natural food source for aquatic species.
I let the salt water into the pond. After renovating the pond, I introduced red worms and fertilizers before releasing the shrimps.
I harvested 2 batches of giant tiger prawns and crabs in 6 months. If all goes well, the income will be double that of a rice crop.
The shrimp rice model has gained popularity in the locality. Currently, about 170 households are participating, covering nearly 160 hectares, an increase of nearly 50 hectares compared to the previous year.
Every year, salt water reaches this region of Haozhong. Therefore, we must adapt to the situation by alternating one rice crop with one crop of brackish water aquaculture products to survive.
Instead of struggling to prevent saltwater intrusion, many localities in the Mekong Delta have developed innovative business models to help farmers coexist with drought and salinity. By revising their agricultural practices and adjusting crops and livestock to suit the specific conditions of each affected area, people in drought and salinity-prone regions have found greater financial stability.
The joint Hoàng Sa-Trường Sa, the front lines of the homeland, and Vietnam People's Navy 70 Years of Protecting the Sea exhibition is currently taking place in Da Nang. With over 200 photos, documents, and nearly 4,000 visitors, this is the largest scale exhibition ever organized by the Vietnam People's Navy in the Naval Region 3. The exhibition highlights the strategic position, role, and importance of the seas and islands to the nation's economic development and defense security, reaffirming Vietnam's sovereignty over the Hoàng Sa parcel and Trường Sa Spratly archipelagos. Coming up next in our world news. Positive progress in Russia-U.S. negotiations. And U.S. attacks Houthi forces in Yemen. Russian and U.S. delegations began closed-door talks on Monday at the Ritz-Carlton in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, to a peace deal for the Ukraine conflict and a Black Sea ceasefire to ensure maritime freedom. The White House aims for a step-by-step approach, starting with a ceasefire on energy infrastructure, followed by the Black Sea, and ultimately a comprehensive peace settlement. Russia accuses Ukraine of violating the energy ceasefire, but insists it remains committed to the agreement. Speaking to the press, U.S. Special Envoy for the Middle East, Steve Witkoff, said that he wanted to move towards peace from Russia and Ukraine.
In some respects, satisfied. So we're going to want them.
At least one person was killed and 15 others were injured in a U.S. airstrike targeting a residential building on the outskirts of Yemen's capital, Sana'a. Washington claims the site was linked to the Houthi movement. Rescue teams were still searching through the rubble for possible survivors. A few hours earlier, U.S. forces stationed in the Red Sea has also carried out fresh airstrikes on Houthi strongholds around the northern Yemeni city of Sana'a. In response, the Houthis launched at least 4 attacks on the aircraft carrier USS Harry Truman in the northern Red Sea. The Houthi movement also declared that it would continue striking targets linked to Israel as an expression of solidarity with the Palestinian people in the Gaza Strip. The health authorities in Gaza have reported that the total number of deaths in the 18-month-long conflict has exceeded 50,000. This announcement comes as the Israeli government prepares for a large-scale military offensive by land and air against the Gaza Strip. Health officials stated that nearly 700 people have died since Israel resumed attacks on Gaza last Tuesday. United Nations agencies have warned that Israel's blockage is worsening the food and medicine shortages in Gaza. leading to an even more catastrophic humanitarian toll. However, Israel appears to be signaling plans for a major offensive aimed at defeating Hamas forces, gaining control of strategic areas, and increasing pressure on Hamas to release the remaining hostages. Paris residents have voted to support the creation of 500 more pedestrian streets on Sundays. This support will boost the city's efforts to limit car use and improve air quality. More on this to follow.
The public consultation results show that about 66% of Parisians support the plan, while 34% oppose it. The city government will continue consulting residents on which streets will become pedestrian zones. This expansion will bring the total number of pedestrian-only streets to nearly 700, accounting for over 1/10 of the capital's roads.
My street is already half pedestrianized, with very few cars passing through. I truly feel the benefits. It's much quieter, with little noise and many people walking around.
The city aims to expand pedestrian streets and green spaces to create green lungs for its 12 million strong population.
Over the past 25 years, we've gradually reclaimed public spaces for pedestrians and non-motorized transport and created green zones as urban lungs. Our constant priority remains public health.
According to the European Environment Agency, despite recent progress, Paris lags behind other European capitals in green infrastructure. Green spaces, parks, tree-lined streets, and wetlands cover only 26% of the city, compared to the 41% average.
Now let's take a look at the weather forecast. And that's the end of VTV News. To rewatch our program, you can download VTVgo from our App Store and Google Play, or visit our YouTube channel, VTV4Go. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again at 3 p.m. local time.